Shut up and sit down.
Life is for living, and at First International Bank and Trust, we're all about living, helping your dreams come true. Because we're not just in the banking business. We're in the first home business, the community sponsorship business, the how do I make this happen business, making your banking life easy so you can focus on what matters most. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
A family farm is, well, different. The cab of a tractor is the CEO's office. Board meetings are held on the bed of Grandpa's pickup. And a conference call is a holler across the yard. To hurry your chores, kids, there's homework to be done. A family farm is about family pride as much as profit. Farmers Union Insurance believes this way of life is worth protecting. Because this isn't just where we work, it's also our family's home. Farmers Union Insurance, simply different.
Coming to you live once again from the Bonfire Studios North. It's another episode of Toros Weekly. I'm your host, Peter Theodos. Joining me as always is Ken Oda. And Ken, we got a nice surprise in the middle between us.
We do. The first Toros 10-year anniversary jersey came in, and I'm thrilled with the way they came out. We've got the bull head or the bull logo with the word mark from year one. The 10-year patches on the shoulders.
The 5 stars on each sleeve.
For the 10 years. just it came out great. And then a surprise for fans who watched the unveiling video we did on social media a few weeks ago when we announced the design. Something we left out is on the inside of the shoulder here are the names of every player who's suited up for just even one game as a Toro. So every player from the first 9 years is listed on the inside of the jersey. I think that's an awesome touch from the guys at K1. And
there's a bullhead on the other
yes,
side.
Yes, the bullhead is in the other shoulder. So the guys who are skating this year in year 10 will be carrying that history with them. And one of the guys who helped build that history is joining us today.
Exactly. Fans, welcome to the show, Mr. Jaden Martin. Jaden, welcome to Toros Weekly.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Why don't you give a little bit of background about yourself for the newer fans who may not know who you are?
I was born and raised in the Magic City. I played for Minot High. Then I moved away and found and played a little AAA around the United States. Lived in Arizona, Omaha. Then I went and finished off half of a year in Austin, Minnesota, and I heard that Minot was getting a team, and I asked to be traded there.
How excited were you to hear that there was going to be a team here in Minot?
I was very excited. Obviously, in years past, we had teams that were in town here, and to hear that we were getting a team, and I was excited as heck. And to hear the coaching staff and all that, it was a very exciting time.
You came here for year one. Obviously, on the ice at least, it was a very difficult year, just 7 wins that season. But you were part of building that culture that turned it around, and you're still third all-time in games played for this organization with 165 games played, still 7th all-time in points with 71 career points. What does it mean to you to have been a huge part of building that culture that first 3 years that eventually became what the program is today?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I still, year one was a little bit of a interesting year. We had a lot of transactions, a lot of different things. A lot of things to learn, not only as the coaching staff, but as an organization, as a player, right? So I came from a team that was first year with Austin, and then I came to Minot and played, and it was just a lot to learn and a lot to be able to teach together and learn together, right? So, and then now where it's at, I mean, they had a run to the Robbie. I mean, they came a long way in those 10 years. So, and there's a lot of people that in not only the city, but had came together to make all that happen and to make it be successful like it is today.
What has it been like now that you're on the outside looking at? What has it been like to see this organization grow into what it is now?
Oh, it brings a smile to my face to see. I mean, you see all these little kids, even when I was playing, that look up to it, right? So they're leaders in the community, in the hockey community, and in the public too. I mean, you go to people's houses even today that are like, oh, the Toros, they're professional, or they just look up to them. They're a huge impact in this community in Minot. So to see where it's come and the buzz around town that you hear on it, it's crazy.
You had an extra challenge as well. Aside from building a new franchise, you were playing in your hometown. Is that extra pressure playing year one in your hometown versus, you had mentioned, being in Austin for their first year? It had to have made it a little more difficult.
Oh, for sure. You have a lot more weight on your shoulders when it's your hometown in a rink that you helped build and were a part of. So yeah, it was definitely 100%. It was a little bit more weight on my shoulders, but I tried to live up to it as best as I could. I mean, I did. Obviously, we didn't end up where we wanted to on those 3 years, but it was stepping stones to where they are now.
You're a guy, like you said, from here, and how the kids look up to you. Was it kind of cool then, years down the road, when you've got maybe a kid like Colby Enns who was coming to games as a kid, as a fan, looking up to you guys, and now you're in the stands watching those kids who grew up and followed your path, Minot High, to the Toros, whether it was Quinn or Colby or some of the other guys who have come through our program who are from here?
Yeah, it's definitely Colby. I mean, he's a heck of a hockey player, right? His resume speaks for itself, but I remember even back when Open Hockey was there, and he was just a a little guy skating around, and now he's playing Division One. He's it was crazy how far it's came, and watching these younger kids as I get older and they get older that go through the system. It's very cool to watch and to be a part of, and to say that I was once a part of it. Right.
Take us through a little bit of your your playing experience, because not a lot of people remember this, but the Eck rink, or the West rink, was the rink that you played on and all that. What was that like in that atmosphere in the smaller rink and playing in that?
Yeah, it's crazy. Year one to my last year, even. I mean, you could say the bus, the rink, the everything. We started out with a bus that didn't really get around too well, and then now they got a bus that's got 12 bunks on it. And I was around when we got the bus with the bunks on it. But it's great. That rink, the rink now is absolutely beautiful. It's great for the community, great for the Toros, great for the whole hockey boosters, right? I mean, it's great for everything in Minot, and to watch it kind of unravel has been something crazy. That the old rink got a little rowdy, and people behind the glass, they packed them in like sardine cans so that they could all fit in there. But it's came a long ways, and it's crazy experience.
You played in what was ultimately a disappointing game, but still one of my favorite memories of those early years. That triple overtime game, it was your last game as a Toro, so I'm sure it's not your favorite memory, but at the time it was the longest game in NAHL history. Almost full three overtimes. I think we 3:03 left on the clock when Austin scored to knock us out of the playoffs. What was playing in that marathon game like? Almost 2 full games.
Yeah, they had to reopen the concession stands, and we had the owners and the coaches were up getting as much food as they could for us, and water and Gatorade, and trying to accommodate us as players as much as they could. The game itself, it felt like you go to one, and it's like, okay, we're going to try to finish it in one. Well, next thing you know, you're 3 deep, and it was just a marathon. That's what it was. It was a marathon of a game, and I'll never forget it. I talked to my wife about it. We talk about it every once in a while. It's like, it's crazy how that was a part of history. I mean, it's 3 overtimes is a long time to play. You could say it's another game essentially.
So aside from that, which obviously ultimately ended up in disappointment, what were some of your favorite memories as a Toro on the ice?
Well, obviously going from year one to year two, getting into the playoffs was a big thing. Never being a part of it, never playing in the playoffs, so didn't know what to expect. The intensity and all that was quite entertaining and fun. Getting Marty as a coach, he did great for this organization. Obviously, I understand that he has moved on in his career, but he was a big help in not only in my path, but in the Toros. And
obviously past the hockey phase of your life for the most part, so I think it'll be fun for the fans as well to catch up with a lot of these guys.
Yeah, a lot of them. I mean, they called this place home for some of them 2 years, some of them 3 years, and to see some of the faces that were there through the thick and thin, right? Like now it's a lot easier to become a Toros fan than it was back when we were only winning 7 games a year. So to see some of those people that stuck it out and were there by your side, so it'll be fun for those guys to be able to catch up, and myself too. I run into them at the grocery store in public every once in a while, and it's like to see them and shake their hand and see how they're doing it's fun.
It's a little bit easier for you since you still live in Minot, but how much do some of your former teammates that you talk to still follow along with how the team's doing?
I believe most of them, obviously they follow them on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. So I believe a lot of them still kind of check in and see more towards playoff time to see what the matchups are, because playing in it, the rivalries, the hatred towards other teams, obviously like the Bobcats and us and Austin and us too, to be honest with you, because of how many times we played them in the playoffs. So I think they follow it closer towards playoff time when it gets heated.
What are some of you mentioned the Bobcats and obviously the big rivalry between the two teams. What's some of your favorite memories of playing against the Bobcats?
Remember, we've got kids watching.
Yeah.
I think I'm betting Delitovich plays a big role in one of those.
Yeah, watching some of those guys good. It's kind of bred into it, right? The Toros are right down, or the Bobcats are right down the road from the Toros, so it's kind of bred into the atmosphere, into the blood of the Toros, the hatred there. But watching, obviously, Lane Sedevy, I talked to him many times after I was done, and watching him kind of get going and get heated, and him and Marty get going at each other, and the guys and feed off of it. That's a couple of my memories, and then obviously beating them. There's nothing better than beating the Bobcats, right? Like, it's almost like a weekend sweep if you go 1-1 with them, just because you get one on them. So it's that's a fun hatred series there.
Now, aside from having been a player and a fan, you're involved as well a little bit as a sponsor with Ralph's. What does it mean to you now to be able to give back to the program?
Yeah, it's huge, right? Like, I tell a lot of people that through work now that are family business, that it's I wouldn't be the person I am without hockey. I wouldn't be able to do what I do for a living without the game, and I wouldn't have my wife. There's a lot of things I wouldn't have without the game. So to give back to an organization that's given a lot to me is huge. And kids, right now, like you said earlier, now I got a kid that's going to hopefully be able to grow up and play hockey in Minot, and for him to maybe one day play and put up that jersey on is huge.
You mentioned growing up here in town. Do you think we'll ever have a player that goes from Minot youth hockey to the Toros and then play for the Beavers as well? So it kind of just goes all the way through every level of hockey here in Minot?
Yeah, I think that would be something that could happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it would. I know that earlier on in our career that the little bit of beef we had with them, but I think that's been, obviously it's gone a lot different now with the rink and everything. But I think that could definitely be a possibility, 100%, to be able to be fun to see, right? To go from the hockey boosters to the Toros to the Beavers, right? That's a full swing, so it'd be really cool to be able to see that.
One last thing before we let you go, as you did say, as we did say, you played the first year with the team, and Ken kind of emulated the 10-year jerseys to look like year one. So I just want to get your opinion on them and what your thoughts are on the new 10-year jerseys.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing all the jerseys how as the time go by. The 10 years, like you said, from day one until year 10. It came a long way, and it looks sweet. It looks like the first one I ever pulled over my head. It's very identical. I like the name thing that you guys did. I thought that was very, very cool. To be able to see that and to say, hey, I was a part of that, right? And all the guys would say that, to be able to say that they helped build it to what it is now, that's an honor, right? I mean, to be able to put that jersey on, it's an honor, and you work your tail off to get it. So anybody that's out there, it's not like it comes easy. It's a lot of hard work and dedication and schooling and all that comes into factor once you pull that thing over your head finally.
All right, well, Jaden, it was great to catch up with you. I look forward to seeing you here over the summer as we get ready for the alumni game, and I'm really looking forward to watching you throw a Toro jersey on and hopefully put up some points on September 26th.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm excited for the reunion game.
Fans, that's Toros alum Jaden Martin that came on the show this evening. Always great to catch up with another alumni.
Love catching up with the alum, especially Jaden's one of those guys who was here for the rough years and really was a leader on that group. He wore a letter, I believe, year 2 and year 3. He had an A on his chest. Just one of the guys who really helped build this program from what was a rough first season all the way through to a perennial playoff contender. And we've made the playoffs every year that there's been playoffs since they made it that second year of the franchise. The second longest active playoff streak in the North American Hockey League. We'll
count this year too.
Well, we would have been in this year, but yeah, we're like I said, the second longest active playoff streak. So 8 years. So 8 years running, and
it's a great credit to Jaden and the rest of those guys for
the culture
setting that culture. Yeah.
So, but that'll do it for this week, I guess.
Yeah. What else do we? Oh, Dash. Yeah.
Week whatever we're on now.
18. 18. We have the last Energy Weekend signed jersey up this week.
Awesome.
So yeah, go out and it's the Energy Weekend themed jerseys
the flames on it, the flames and the diamond plating. Those are probably one of my favorite alternate jerseys we've ever done.
Absolutely.
They're sweet.
And signed by the entire team. So it's a great addition to any collection that a Toros fan might have.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's all we got from the Bonfire Studios North. For Sean Bachhoven, Ken Oda, I'm Peter Theodos. We will see you in 2 weeks or
Sure.
next week. Yeah, we'll go 2 weeks. Have a good one, folks.